What's going on, everybody? Geronimo22 coming back for another video. We're going to jump right on the Madden field. Just want to let you know that in this video, we're going to talk first about showing you some more routes of the dig and the dag concept. We really want to get that solidified. Want to give you some more examples, go through a couple plays real quick. And then the Tom Moore offense, if you're on PlayStation 5, you are in luck. You can go download that right now. It's on the shared folder. And I will make a video for the guys on Xbox to look at the plays that I'm using. This will change, okay? Because like I had said, this is a work in progress, okay? But that's the defense right there. That's the offense, I'm sorry. Let's jump on the Madden field. Let's take a look at some examples here of the dig and the dag. And I want to talk about a couple things everything I'm doing is I'm trying to build up to what we're going to get to down the line as we start using different types of concepts. But we got to just stick with the core concept a little bit. Even if you don't want to use this offense completely, I'm sure this is a concept that a lot of people use and there are certain situations. Okay, so dig, dag. All right, dig. Again, we're going to start with just looking at one of the core plays that you can use. Let's go with levels divide. Okay, just from single back slot, most popular formation I think they're known for, in my opinion, besides being in the gun. And just the reads as we talk about it. So this would be probably like the base way to run this play, okay? All right, so we got our shin route on the outside, okay? We have our backside. Then we have our dig route by the slot receiver. That's the number 2 read. And then we're going to go to a die right here into the flat. That's the number 3 read. Real simple, the way Tom Moore talked about it. But take a look at the outside receivers right now. Obviously we're in a 2x2. Look at the tight ends route. Okay, the tight ends route is called a middle alley route. Okay, or alley read route. I apologize, alley read. So what that alley read does is basically versus any type of single high defense, which most likely we're going to get right here. We're going to get that tight end working up the seam between the numbers and the hash. Okay. Looking for the ball. It's a good option versus cover 3, okay? But this is not part of the read right now. Now, later on, I will talk about using this type of route as part of a read, okay? But you see the solid line going up versus middle field close. If it's middle field open, meaning like cover 2, cover 4, split safety, 2 safeties deep, okay, then he will take it to the post. Now, the outside receiver on the outside, he is running a go. I haven't seen him sit down. In old Maddens, he used to sit down versus certain off coverages like cover 4. But right now, I don't think that's the case. He's just going to run a go route, okay? So what we have here is if you're not called into the route, this play is going to be called dig. We say the name of the player. So in this system, we're just going to call it right now, let's be realistic. And his system, it was H. That's going to confuse a lot of people. Let's just call it F, okay, for the slot receiver. F dig, okay? So F dig tells the F what to do. It tells the X what to do. So now on the right-hand side, the 2 receivers who are not part of the call, or technically also the running back, they know they have to run what he calls a standard route, okay? Just standard go routes, pretty much, all right? That's the standard. But as we go through the system, we're going to get some standards where we don't get that alley read. We're going to get just straight 2 verticals to this side and a swing by the back, okay, at a 2x2. If it was 3x1, it would just be 1 guy on the outside. And we could choose what that standard route will be. But I'll talk more about that later. But I just want to put that in your brain just to add to some of the pieces that we're trying to get done here. All right, but 2x2, I'm not a big fan of this split by number 1 on the outside. It's pretty wide, okay? But as I throw that ball, I'm dropping back. It's a 5-step drop, okay? In my mind, it's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I'm throwing the ball, okay? Ball's coming out pretty quick. And then I'm going to now my second read. If he's not open, it's just a pure progression read. Technique-wise, we talked about this before. This is not really a technique talk, but I am throwing the ball down into the inside, and I'm trying to come back to the ball, get a little separation, so maybe I can make a move, okay? But we can see here, I'm pretty much throwing it as soon as I get to the top of my drop. 1 miss, 2 miss, easy throw, wide open, we'll make the read, okay? If I was to continue with the second part of the progression, now when I get to the top of my drop, I'm going to either shuffle sideways, move forward, hitch up, okay? And look to my number 2, all right? And then after that, if it's not there, I'm thinking, hey, if it's cloudy, if I don't like it, I'm probably going to be safe and go to my back, all right? So that's pretty much just a simple read. This is how it works here. Now, we'll talk about different coverages. I think I'm going to make a video. I'm definitely going to do it for my guys on Patreon, and just about how to read coverages and how we do it. You probably have experience with this. There's lots of videos out there to do that. The one thing in general, like this is definitely a look of cover zero blitz. All right. So remember, when we get a cover zero blitz, you got to try to anticipate where it's coming from. If the nickel is not close, it's probably not him. He's probably playing man to man. So it's probably going to be those linebackers. So those linebackers are 5 yards away. I don't like this route being so wide, so I will use my adjustment of getting Stokely, motion him out to the left, get that receiver a little closer to me. But I can still run this route regular because the blitzers are coming from depth. So I have a little bit of time here to can't hold it too long, but I'm okay. I also kept the back in the block as well. That's an option that you can use. All right. Or you can get them out free release. That's totally up to you. All right. Different type of looks here. Now we have a two-man look. Computer's working with me right now. So anytime we get a two-man look, the way I'm going to do this, okay, I'm not going to audible to a new play just because there'd be too many. I can't get in every formation a DAG concept. But remember, DAG is what? Number two receiver, slot receiver runs a 10-yard or even deeper to the sticks out. And the read is the same. So I'm now just going to audible Stokely to that out route, right? The read's still going to be to number one on Harrison on the shin. And then number two is going to be the out route. And then number three will still be to the flat. This is an obvious two-man look. Okay, it's the reason why I went to this. You see all the corners are pressed, safeties are back. This is obviously either two-man or cover one robber. Okay, either or, I'm still going to make the read the same, but I'm going to anticipate that most likely Stokely might be the guy to get the ball. Now, if this was two-man, Clark with his alley read route might be also an option as well for you to take a look at. That would be more like an alert. If you have a really good tight end, he might beat that linebacker across his face, but we're still going to go through our reads, okay? Stokely didn't do a great job winning that route, but he got it off enough that I was able to throw the out route versus two-man. Let's take a look at the replay real quick. I think the tight end, this is actually cover one robber. This is tight because I did get the top of my drop. And then here, I'm still kind of waiting for Stokely. So in most cases, I was still trying to move my feet a little bit, but I got lucky, made a tight throw. That could have been a sack. But this is an example of man to man. Maybe your dig route doesn't win the way you wanted to. I'm sorry, your shin route, he doesn't win right away. He doesn't win with enough confidence. Maybe you don't like it. Okay, so that's where we are. All right, so let's look at some more examples of some more plays. So I gave you that one out of levels divide from dice slot. Now, if you want to use some other formations that I have in my book here, you know, the team in general, they were not big in getting into wing slot from what I've seen on film. But I'm going to use a little bit of it just to get a little bit of spice in there. And because we have levels in there already. So if the play is called levels, the game, Madden's going to do a pretty good job of giving you on the backside what we call, again, that standard route on the right-hand side of screen. You have the tight end. He's running that alley read. And then you have the other tight end kind of running like a outside vertical. It's really tight, but again, the read's not going over there right now anyway. Just get the back to swing opposite of where Harrison is. Now, this is a good time to maybe it's a good time to use this is if people are going to start cheating on your route, right? Like they're going to start using a safety coming down, maybe playing three buzz. The timing of this route's a little bit longer. It's going to take a little bit of time for your first shin to get open, and it kind of comes from a different angle. So really, as I looked at it there, the timing wasn't that much longer. So really, I'm kind of just speaking clinic talk right there. But honestly, as we go through this, this can kind of confuse people a little bit, not sure who's going to run the under route. And that might give you a little bit of time to get that route in there, change the angle a little bit. Everything else is going to be the same. If we don't like that route, we have our backside. We have also our dig route from the same side. Okay. So that's another way to kind of run it. That's the second way. Um, I also have in there doubles hip out of the gun. So 2x2 doubles hip. So I just wanted to show you some more plays. Here we go, levels. So easy, right? You could probably just go into your concepts and just find out where the levels plays are. But here we go again. Just be careful man to man. I've noticed that in route versus for this formation, and maybe the last one too, sometimes if it's man, he doesn't run straight across the field sometimes. Sometimes he runs like a slant across the field. I'm not sure, but I'm not 100% on that. But just watch out for that. But this one's pretty much set up for us the way we want. For some reason, I didn't like the shin. I could have given it to him. I didn't wait on it. It felt like there were some bodies, and that's kind of a thing that you have to go through. Kind of get that feel for: is there somebody that's going to be sitting in the gap or sitting in this area? Technically, yes, right? There's a guy sitting here. I just felt like if I would have thrown this ball, I'm kind of setting him up for a big hit. So, and then that guy kind of fell back into the other window. So I said, you know what? Let's just go to our third option. Let's look at this from a wider shot in slow motion, right? So I'm going through my read, one miss, right? Two miss. I could have probably given it to him, but I felt like I was setting my guy up for failure. That linebacker did a nice job of sitting in between. So I just said, you know what? Let's get to the check down. Let's give him the ball. That's how quick it happened. Let's watch it in regular speed here. One miss, two miss, three miss. Got rid of the ball. See, my clock is a little faster. I'm not saying Mississippi. I'm saying miss. But still, ball's coming out on time. Pretty good. Cover zero look here, right? Definitely, you can tell by the way everybody is stacked up on their man. And anytime you have a nickel over here, if you see the nickel that's over Stokely, he's pressed, but then there's a guy behind him, the safety. There's a high chance that nickel's blitzing, okay? So if that was the case, you don't have time to have Stokely sit here and work a route. So this is where I make my adjustment where I will put Stokely on a shallow because I know that the ball has to come out quick and the ball, oh, he got bumped up there. So that's a bad thing. I'm glad we saw that. Sometimes receivers get bumped because of the guys in front of them. In theory, I was saying that he should be able to get across, but he got bumped. So that may not be the best play in that situation. You might want to block your back and let it play out, or you may want to check into a different play versus that type of formation. It's part of the reason why I do prefer the spread formations. All right, and I already spent a lot of time on the one play that I like. Again, this is going to be an example. I'm just going to show it to you real quick. Doubles offset, just regular doubles offset. I already have this play. Showed it to you guys earlier. The sail play. The reason why I like this one is because of the outside route, Wayne, how he kind of bends outside. If you do get cover two, I'm going to talk about it right here, actually, because this looks like there's a potential cover six look right here, which is cover two to the right of screen. What I like about this is the standard. Okay, so let's go talk about the standard a little bit. The standard route, if you're not called, you run streaks and then you run a wide flare, correct, with the running back. Now, what route is this really good against? It's really good against cover two. So, in general, if I have two receivers on the right hand side or away from the play call side, and I get, I'm going to put him in streaks to start. Okay. Eventually, I will kind of progress to also getting the outside guy over here and putting him in a curl. We'll talk more about that later once you start talking about more combination routes. But if I get the outside corner and he's playing 5 yards, right? 5 yards depth, outside leverage, that's a big sign that's cover two. Or if he's pressed, big sign that it's probably man to man or something of that sort. He might be even playing cover three, zone blitz, and then trying to bail out, but he gets a press animation and gets beat. So I'm going to put that guy into a streak. It's just an alert to have. So here's a perfect timing here. If I see as soon as I snap the ball, the corner stays flat footed and that safety goes straight back, I know it's cover two. I can work the safety. With the back flaring out to this side, it makes it really hard for the corner to sit at home. He's probably going to start reacting up early, which is going to also put that safety into a real tough spot. All right. So we get the cover two. The one thing I think I did wrong there is I actually called the wrong type of vertical route. So let me go back on that. I should have kept it the way it was. So that was my fault. Like I had said originally, I like this play because of the way that he works outside. You can also put him in a fade to get him to work outside the corner. That's my fault. I just put him in a regular streak. All right. But I could have also probably hit the tight end. All right. So I'm kind of alerted for that. But for the most part, I'm always just going to put the tight end in a streak. I'm going to put my back on a flare. I see that this could be a potential blitz right here coming. All right. Well, let's get ourselves set up. If it is a blitz, we are hot, so we have to get rid of the ball. If this is the case, I probably will throw it to the back. I'll talk more about that later. All right. So in this case, I do it to the running back to where the hot was. That would be my hot route to that side. So that's kind of what I'm doing. That's a Madden thing. I think in real life we would have had our tight end work. What they do is actually work a skip route, which we'll talk about later, which is pretty much like a flat route. Okay, by number two. It's just a way to get open against most pressures as hot routes. That's how I like to do it. Or if it's built in and you're to the same side as where the shin is or the dig side, you could just run that. All right, this is an obvious cover one look. Could be could be all out blitz, but it's probably cover one. Okay. So what are we going to do here? We're not going to be robots. We're not going to just run this play stock. we're going to take this play and we're going to turn it into dag. Okay, put number 2 on an out. I still had the dig there, so I mean the shin, the underneath 5 yard in. So I took it. That's still the first read. If he wins, give it to him. Don't sit and wait on the deeper route. Okay. But that was actually cover 0. So I'm actually happy I got rid of the ball. I knew this was either cover 0 or cover 1. Sometimes in Bear, they have some nice fronts that look like cover 1. Now, I really wish I could. I'm going to spend some more time talking about coverage later on. But this is not necessarily a read where you have to read coverage, but it helps your overall maybe progression of what's happening if you do read coverage. Okay. Here's an example. I just took the shot backside because he beat the heck out of the press corner. And that's part of the play too. So we run this play. This is a core play. It's good against all coverages, especially when you add in the dag. Okay. So hey, let's just talk about Crane. Forgot to throw this in there. It's very simple, guys. I have it right now really built out of 2 easy formations in this playbook: gun wide trips, okay, and then gun trips open. The read is really the same. You're just going to add in a 4th read now, right? So here's something here. I don't mind running this into the boundary. So I really, again, I'm not going to flip my formations. I'm going to keep pretty much the way it's set in the game. I don't care because I don't want the buttons to be different. I think that's something that I've gotten in trouble for. So here we're going to go with Stokely as your number 1 on the 5 yard shin. Wayne is number 2 on his shin of 5 yards. And then you have Clark as your dig as your number 3. And then you have Adai as your number 4. But like I talked about, I really am going to call 1A and 1B is Stokely and Wayne. Like I'm not going to really sit on Wayne unless I'm in a certain situation in the red zone. We'll talk about it later. I might sit on that route and because I'm willing to take a sack down there. I don't want to take a sack, but I'm willing to do it. Hopefully, I don't turn the ball over. Look at the backside standard combination we talked about. So when it's 1 wide receiver, okay, we're going to play the game of, hey, is it pressed or is it not? It is pressed, so we're going to now get him into a fade. If it wasn't pressed, we would keep him in his curl or put him in a curl, okay? Now, this is an obvious 2-man look, all right? If you guys understand that, you see all the corners are pressed. They're all head up to inside leverage, and your safeties are deep, too deep, right? It could be cover 1 as well, but here I'm going to call dag. Okay, I'm going to switch it with Clark on the 10 to 12 yard out. All right, we're still going to go through our read and progression, but as you can see, Dallas Clark was the right option on that one. Okay, number 1, Stokely never got off the line of scrimmage. You can see this right here. He got stuck, right? So I could have potentially gone to Reggie Wayne, but I just decided to say, hey, Clark was wide open. He didn't get pressed. All right, here goes another cover 0 look. Okay, we're not going to sit here and go through a bunch of looks, but I think the nickel is not coming. I don't think he's one of the blitzers because there's nobody behind him. This is where I'll take that first read, okay, and I'll put him on a shallow just to hurry up the route a little bit. He needs to get there, okay? I'm not going to necessarily, I don't have to block the running back. The running back should pick somebody up, but I don't trust it. I'm getting rid of the ball. You know, that would be my first read on the hot. If you feel like you can kind of hold the ball and you have a really good quarterback and you trust your receiver, you could potentially, this is a Maddenism, this isn't what Tom Moore would do. You could throw this curl back here, all right? And let me just show you the curl just from a standpoint of how it looks. You see how it works out and up? I'm not a huge fan of that. I think just doing a normal curl is better. Deeper, and it's better. All right, so there we go with that. This is another blitz look here, another obvious blitz look, but the corner, the nickel's not coming. It's going to be on this side over here. I think we're getting this player coming. I think I can still hold off and just throw this ball on time if I just throw it quickly. I was actually like, yep, and that looked like almost like a zone. No, it was regular man pressure. So certain pressures don't bother you, okay? It's the obvious ones where guys are on the line of scrimmage and you have to make the adjustment. So we have those 2 plays, Crane is Crane, and you're good to go. All right. So I feel like that's really one of the fun ways to do it. Let me see something else for you guys. All right, that's it for now. So next thing we'll talk about is we're going to go right into Indiana. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's look at it on the PowerPoint, look at the play, and then we'll come back here. Okay, so we're back here. We're looking at the Indiana concept. So this is another full field play, okay, where we're going to go through just a regular progression 1, 2, and 3. We're not necessarily reading coverage. We're just going through our progression here. But what we're doing is, as you see on the screen here, this is pretty much the equivalent of an automatic dag to the left. So we're going to call it Indiana left here, okay, in this formation. So we're going to get a dag. We're going to get the 5 yard in. We're going to get the deep out, okay, by number 2. And then on the opposite side, we're going to get in Madden, for the most part, when we create this ourselves, we're just gonna get the seam route, okay? But if you do have the Madden does have some plays where you get this alley read. We talked about that already, okay? And then on the backside, we're getting a deep dig, okay? Probably 15 yards or so. All right, that's gonna be your backside, and you get the flare. Okay, so the read will go 1 to 2, which would be the actual deep dig, to the flare 3. Now, why do you like this play? Why do you want to call this play? Well, let's just say, the defense is getting, catching on to what you're doing, right? They got linebacker, user linebacker, jumping, making your life hard, okay? Doesn't matter the coverage. And let's just say you're not confident with the, dig coming from the same side, or people are getting smart. They're jumping here, but they're jumping back, expecting the dig to come from that side, right? Well, the good thing is now we're going to actually run the same concept, but the dig is coming from the opposite side. So people that want to jump down for any reason with the safety or linebacker and play this concept after they've seen it for a quarter, now all of a sudden they're going to get hit with the dig coming from the opposite side. All right, so that's a good thing. Versus all coverages is very good as well. You also the reason why that is because we have this man answer, right? So somebody can say, well, they can play really tight man, they can play cover one hole, they win over here. They put their corners inside leverage and underneath. You got your guy, your whole player can sit back here. There's different ways to kind of beat these two routes, but it's really hard to now say, hey, I'm going to stop the out route. So it's the same really alert for you as a quarterback. You're looking for man-to-man coverage. You're going to include that dag route for you by the tight end, or cover 2 man, right? Another coverage where this isn't great against, maybe. That's also your answer there, okay? So again, the read will go 1. Now 2 is the deep dig back here, and 3 is over there. Okay, Indiana left. The direction tells you where the dag side, and then the back side would be really. I don't want to give it a name just yet because we're going to have names for this stuff, but it's similar to like a dagger concept. Okay, but it's not exactly what we're going to be calling it later. All right, and then you can obviously flip the play on the right hand side and do it the other way. All right, so that's pretty simple. It's very simple. It's a core concept. It's something you can use versus all coverages. Personally, I like to use it later in the game. Okay, so it depends on how many times I've run the dig and the dag. I'm going to use this probably in the second, third, fourth quarter. Okay, whenever it's needed. All right, let's jump back on the Madden field. Let's take a look at it in action. Okay, so we're back. We have the Indiana concept. Really easy, guys. You guys see this play all over the playbooks. Z post, Y out. You can do it from single back slot. I like it from the closer formation, but let's just do it from this one. So this one, the only bad thing, this requires 3 audibles, which is my max. I'm not making more than three hot routes. I don't want to, but this is going to require it. So in order to make this Indiana right, we're going to take the outside receiver wing, put him on a 5 yard in. We're going to take the slot receiver, put him on a streak route, number 2. Okay. And there goes the Indiana deep part. And then the short part, we take the running back and put him on a swing opposite the first read. Okay. So now we got the same concept we talked about. Is this man to man? Highly doubt it. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't really matter. I still have Clark. This is the good thing. You don't have to read coverage. Is it 2 man? Is it 1 robber? You can just have it there. You have the dag there for you just in case it does end up being some sort of man or match coverage. It's just an alert, okay? But we'll just go through our normal read here. I kind of put him in a tough spot. Bad job by me. Interception. It would have been great for me to actually get that right. Not perfect. So as he went back, yep, I should have seen that was taken away. I should have gone to my second read. Would it have been open versus quarters coverage? It looks like it would have possibly been open because the safety would have had to take this guy vertical, and then now you had the dig route coming from the opposite side. All right, poor job by me. Let's see if I could do better here. And the next time, now we get press on the outside. So right now we don't have an adjustment for this. There's no alert for anything. We just have to let the play run out. I just have a good feeling that this is going to be some sort of could be man-to-man press. We'll see. Do we win? Not really, but the dig route was coming. If I didn't get the pressure up the middle, you can see that dig route coming from behind. So here we go. Outside guy didn't win his press, right? We got instant pressure up the middle. But if we didn't get that, watch the dig route. Again, right now I'm at the top of my drop. All right. I would have been hitching up or hitching to the right or moving a little bit, but that dig route did come open by Harrison coming from the left of the screen in the middle of the field. All right. All right, let's see if we can get a good rep here. Of course, the computer, just so you know, when you go up against the computer, man, they will run the same play against you to see if you can block it. All right. Now, this is a potential hot route situation. If I know the computer well, this could be a potential hot. I'm going to put my tight end to the flat. Just as an example here, I'm kind of doing this on the fly. If all these linebackers that are on the line of scrimmage come, I'm throwing it to the tight end. That's going to be a new hot. I could throw it to the dig, but the shin, but he's getting pressed. There it goes. All right. So I got an automatic pick there for a touchdown. That's the next level of just talking about protections. I didn't go into protections. I'm using blitz protection, is what Tom Moore called it. Pretty much, we're getting rid of the ball to hots. We're not going to sit there and try to block everything up unless I think I can. All right. All right. Here we go. So the computer now is going to give me something else. Looks like cover three, most likely, or it could be cover one hole. Let's take a look at this. All right. Yep. So I was cover one hole. I took the dag concept on the outside. That's your answer versus man to man. All right. Another play here. And then we'll end it. We'll show you different formation. All right. Probably man to man again. Not man to man. I took the underneath route. He was open. A little bit of a danger player there when it came to the linebacker kind of sitting there. And if this was a user and I've run this play enough, and if I see a user here, I'm absolutely not going to look there. Okay. Now the dag is open in the outside route, but that's not the time to throw it. This is something I would not suggest to do. I would just be on some, hey, just go through your progression because you never know if that corner is going to sink back. This is actually two invert. That's what this is. So I would now go to my number two, which is obviously not open, but look at number three. He's open. Okay. So that would be the progression. All right, now let's just take a look at some plays, how you can make this into different formations. I have this out of my favorite one is Y double Z close. All right. So to me, that's a little bit better with the right side receiver. He's a little bit closer. So now that throw is going to come a little bit sooner. Kind of a tight window there. Got to be ready to get rid of the ball maybe a tad bit earlier. All right. But that's just something to mess with. I like it out of that formation. So that's in my playbook. And then another one that I made up kind of sort of was pistols, doubles, weak flood. All right. Like this formation, just to give us another 2x2 from the pistol look. We're just going to take it's going to be Indiana left. Okay. We're going to take Harrison and put him on a 5 yard in. We're going to take Clark. We're going to put him on that seam route, which, again, is not an alley read, but it's okay. And then we take the back and we swing him opposite the number one read, Harrison. Okay, so now we get the same idea here. We have our Indiana to the left, which is really dag. Okay, we can also motion if we want to. And now we have our traditional reads that we have here. Okay, so again, this is a play that I really see opening up that dig route, but you still have to make your reads. Okay, you don't know exactly what defense people are going to be in. If you do get man for whatever reason, you can definitely hit the dag, the 10 yard out. But if you feel like you can get away with it and get through there and get a first down, that's a really good deal. Okay, so that's Indiana just out of a different formation. All right, so as we build our list here, we'll go through all the different ways we can run this stuff. All right, so we have Indiana. We talked about dig. Okay, we talked about crane. All right. Okay, so another way to get to Indiana, and again, when I'm playing games, I'm just gonna call formations and plays that I want. I really don't care what hash I'm on. I'm not even gonna care about that. Okay, but if you come out in wide trips, you happen to be on the right hash. All right, you can call under, which naturally gives you the dig route with the slot receiver and Clark. Okay. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to motion over. So let's say I'm going fast. We'll talk about tempo later. When I pick my formations, I'm picking them very quickly. All right. I'm not, because I can get into whatever I want to when I'm at the line of scrimmage. So I'm going to do that through motion or through by changing plays. Okay. Changing formations. but I don't want it to be a drastic change where the whole formation's flipping left to right. But you can see here already, I already have Indiana built out of this. What was 3-by-1 formation, now it's 2-by-2. Indiana right is built. Okay. If I want the inside outside receiver to run more of the traditional 5-yard in, I just put him on a 5-yard in. All right. And we go from there. The only thing here is just be careful of your buttons because these buttons are going to be different. Usually, if you're throwing the 5-yard in from the right of screen, it's your circle button. Right now, it's R1. So don't get caught out there and throw it by accident to your slot receiver. All right. But that's pretty much where we're at. Okay. So I really like this concept. I think it's one of those concepts that is really nice to use after you've run a couple of digs and dags, potentially a second quarter or third quarter concept, but it's still a nice full field read, has answers pretty much versus everything type of play. All right. All right. So next time we get back together, which will be quickly here, it'll be tomorrow. I will now jump into a little bit more of the run game and play action part of it. And then I think once you have that, now you're going to have about 4 to 5 concepts passing wise. You're going to have the base run game, which is going to be simple, simple, simple. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. And then we'll start getting into some of the more complicated things of the 2-man and 3-man concepts that I've found so far. Guys on the Patreon, I showed you guys yesterday some of the 2-man and 3-man concept pages. What I did, guys, on YouTube is I made a chart. I made like a 6-box chart of plays so you can see all of them at once. 2-man concepts. So it's just 2 receivers running routes, right? And then 3 receivers running routes would be the 3-man concepts and how you can marry them together, which is a big part of really the second half offensive football that I'm going to run. That's how I'm going to kind of pretty much game plan it. You should know by the second half what your opponent does. Or if you wanted to take time and scout your opponent, you could do it in the first half too. But now we're going to start getting some different types of routes. It's not going to just be short ends from number ones. The number ones are going to be running more deeper routes. They're going to be running digs, comebacks, verticals, curls, and you're going to work the inside a little bit more with some different routes as well. Some sit down routes by number 2, just some more seams by number 2, and things of that nature. Okay, so that will be the next part of that will be the last part of the offense. And then we will also do red zone and third down. Kind of again, their strategy is Tom's strategy is there's no reason to have a true third down or red zone play specifically because we are running our best play as our core concept. And we could be able to run our core concepts in the red zone and on third down. So if you game plan against a Tom Moore type of team, you're going to see the same concept show up even in special situations. But there are little things that he did, like double moves and certain type of routes that he did run a little bit different, some formation differences that he ran on third down in the red zone. Okay, so we'll save that for last. All right, guys, hope you appreciate this video. A little shorter video today. Just want to get this out to you. So you guys have dig, you have dag. You remember you have dag and dig pumps, right? You have the whole idea of the backside standard combinations, right? So you understand what a standard is, really just a streak and a flare, okay, or a curl and a flare. And then now we have the Indiana concept, the next full field concept that we can rely on as a nice little complement to what we've been doing so far. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.